welcome back to Snake River Fly. First sunny day we've seen in a while, which means we're going to start getting some ice off of our lakes around here. I got some really good early season lake fishing around Snake River Fly country. Today we're going to do one that utilizes one of our, probably most requested materials, the 0G dubbing. This is a 0G. This is the Pro pack up here, the big one. We also sell them in smaller packs. This material is essentially a 50-50 blend of trimmed, carefully trimmed I might add, marabou tips or marabou fibers and solar flare. And this is what we utilize to create our a lot of our patterns, but definitely some of our really good leech patterns that we fish in Stillwater here. This is the olive color right here. And we're going to tie some turbo leeches today. Real quick, real great little Stillwater leech that we've been using in olive. So basically I've just taken a pretty good little chunk of that material, pulled it right out of the bag, and I'm going to start with Moonlit 3 or 4 millimeter tungsten slotted in black nickel. And we're also going to be using a really cool hook that we've been using lately and liking a lot is the little jig hook, the competitive series from Moonlit, and this is a size 10, I believe, on this one. And we'll answer that in a little bit. Okay, so to get going, we've just started some 6/0 thread. This is our new stuff that we're getting from Semper. This is the 6/0 in their wax thread in chartreuse, just to add a little hot spot to this. And we're going to start that fly by putting the bead on the hook, start our thread right behind it. And this is a real quick fly to tie. Got our little group right there, our little clump of 0G dubbing. Just going to divide that in half. And I'm going to make a little noodle out of that. Like so. I'm just going to do a little pinch technique right here where I'm pinching the material between my index finger and my thumb and pulling straight down on that. Once I get it attached on top, I'll just go ahead and wind to where that bend starts coming back. Then I'm going to come forward about 1/8 of an inch or so on this one, and we're just going to fold the front part of that clump back on itself and secure the front with a 1/2 good thread wraps and pull that back. Now we're just going to come forward another 1/8 of an inch. We're looking for the sparseness in this fly. That's why we're doing just a thread body. Take another clump of the 0G, and I'm just going to fold that around the hook. Same thing, tying it on top, but I'm getting coverage all the way around that hook. Now wind back to where I stopped my thread on the last clump, kind of butts that material up and gets it to flare, and then I'll come back that 1/8 of an inch, and now we'll just fold around the hook and back, similar to a wet fly collar with the hackle, and tie that clump in, fold it back, and now we'll just take another small clump. Should finish up this size 10. Same thing, divide it in half, like so. Tie it on the top of the hook, and then I'm just pushing the material around the hook. Wind right up to the bead, pull that material back, and we'll just tie off and get our little hot spot on here. Yeah, you could do this with a thread color that matches the body material or the bead a lot more accurate. Semperfli makes this waxed thread in a bunch of really amazing, great new colors. Gives you a lot more options when just using thread. But the little hot spot we like in here for this olive one. And if I wanted to, I could put just another little bunch in here. This thing would fish just great the way it is for a small bait fish, tadpole, or a little leech. But for the tying purpose, we'll put another clump in here just to show you kind of yet another way. I just kind of let that go loose around it. Strap that down, and now we'll pull everything back. This will get it right up next to the bead if you're looking for a little fuller effect. But the beautiful thing about the 0G from Snake River Fly that's available on our website and in store is it looks pretty good dry, but when it gets wet, this material really tends to show off its colors, some great translucency, and with the marabou in there, some really good movement. Just trimming everything back and whip finish that off. Got a little hot spot in this one. Super strong thread, great colors, comes off the spool great. And this particular one in 6/0 has 240 yards on a spool, $3.99 on our website or in store. We've got every color they make right now. So there's the finished fly. We also make it in, all the good Leech colors, a nice warm brown, a great black with some blue in there. Tan's a great color around here. We get a lot of sucker minnows. Also get a few crane fly larvae. Same thing with the gray. Nice little bug. But the beauty about this one, I think, is since it's Friday afternoon, if we add a little fluid to it, I know that you guys are going to say that's wasting great beer, but that's just what I had handy. If we get this material wet with, let's say, water or beer, which is makes it smell a little better. I don't know if this might even be actually illegal in places where you're not supposed to use any scent.
You might be scenting it.
It is illegal in the state of Ohio to get a fish drunk, by the way. You can look that up. Anyway, this material when wet definitely sleeches out, gets really thin and sparse. This fly drops like a rock. Love the shape of the Moonlit jig hook here. I think it really tends to hold fish very well just because of that angle and that pull. At least that's what our customers and we've found out. But there you have it, the 0G Turbo Leech. Super rad material on the site or in the store. Thanks a bunch. Cheers.